Did we catch some fish today, Ben? Reeling them all in, wear you out. This is what Ben looks like after a few hours of fishing. Alright guys, I'm going to try a different type of video here. I'll show you how to fillet a fish. Panfish season is just starting. Bluegills, crappie, gills, stuff like that. So went out for a little bit early expedition today to check things out, and wanted to show you how to fillet a panfish. There's 100 videos out there, or 1,000 videos, but this is how I do it. Just want to show you this. I'm gonna start with our catch today and lay them all out and go from there. All right, here we go. Show you what we caught today. When I say we, I mean Benjamin and I. The legal limit here for bluegills per day per person is 25. I believe I have about 15 here. Let me get these all laid out nice and pretty, and we'll set up the camera at a good angle and go from there. Alright guys, got these 15 bluegill all laid out. Wanted to add here, it's not terribly warm out yet, but typically I like to keep my fish on ice. What it does is it helps firm up the meat, so when you are cleaning these bad boys, everything stays more fresh, the meat is more firm, and it's honestly just easier to clean them when they're not soft and soggy and warm, and it's just a better experience in general. So here they go, guys. Got some nice ones here. I think they're all 7.5 to 8.5 inches. Got a few nice ones up here. So if you've never had bluegill or any kind of gills or sunfish, they are a very nice, firm, delicious meat. They make a nice little fish nugget, and I would suggest trying them. I've been fishing for over 25 years. Not only till about the last 10 years have I really focused on any meat fishing, and bluegill is one of my favorite. Walleyes up there, pike are good. Every fish has its own specialty. So, anywho, again, gonna set up a good angle here. Just wanted to show you prepping. We always have a couple of Rapala knives. The shorter, I believe it's a 4-inch, and then the longer 7-inch. I'll show you what those are for. Always have water, fresh clean water with a little bit of ice in it too. Helps keep the meat firm. Always have a fork. We'll show you what that's for. And the cooler that they came out of. All the remains are going to go in here and go right into the old garden. There's nothing that goes to waste here, guys. That's one of the great things I love about catching your own fish. Not only do you get a delightful meal, but these bluegill make, the extras, the skins, the guts, and the leftovers make great fertilizer for all the fruits and vegetables that we'll be harvesting here in the next 4 or 5 months. So years and years of bluegill and fish in that garden has helped us create very nutritious soil, and it works great. So on to the fishing. Here we go, to the fish cleaning. Alright, here we go. Scales obviously point backwards. You always want to come in a little bit of an angle right here behind the head. Behind the gill plate right here. Come in at an angle towards the head. I always twist the knife and then pull it towards you right along the spine. You can see the spine stay on this side of the dorsal. You go all the way back, pat the rib cage. What you're doing is the tip of the knife is kind of tapping the top of the rib cage as you're going in. Alright, now you get back here towards the tail end of the rib cage, and the knife is going in, and there's all meat here right behind the rib cage. What do we do now is poke in farther till it pokes out right by the belly. Alright, see that happen? Then we hold up here. You always want to keep slight pressure towards the table. Pull out to the tail. There you go. Alright, now we got majority of the fillet off of the body itself. What I do, and I've learned this trick by watching a few videos and talking to the old timers, you leave the fillet intact, so when you cut the other side, the fish isn't concaved. So we're going to do the same thing here. Pull towards the head, twist the knife. Now turn the knife toward the back, go right down the spine, staying on this side of the dorsal. You get, like I said again, tip of the knife is kind of bouncing off the rib cage, no pressure. You want to have nice sharp knives. Keep the fish flat. Once you get to the back of the rib cage right here, poke down into the belly, or past the belly. You see the knife stick out there at the bottom. And then we do the same thing. Slight pressure towards the table, and then out the end. What that does is leaves, like I said, the other fillet on also, and saves meat. You don't lose a lot of meat on your backbone. So what I'm gonna do here is pull back. You're just gonna kind of cut down to the ribs. You'll feel the bones of the ribs. Then you slightly pull up with the fillet and with the knife. Now there are tiny little rib bones in there. I cut through like the secondary layer of them. What it does is it gives you a little extra meat. You kind of just follow the rib cage. You can see the ribs, the top of the rib cage here, and then it wraps down around to the belly. You pull the fillet up, you'll see this belly meat here. Just give a little, like I said, you don't have to push hard. Have a nice sharp knife. Do that. Then we come up here behind the dorsal, or behind the fin. Cut down to the belly, and we got our fillet. I'll flip this over. Do the same thing on the other side. Go right down to the top of the ribs. Start going just over the rib cage. Like I said, slight pressure always towards the table. That way you don't lose meat on the backbone and you don't lose meat on the rib cage. Go down, get this little bit of belly meat, come back behind the fin there, and there's your two fillets. Now, that fish is almost translucent. We've been doing fish like this forever, and we don't waste a lot of meat. This goes in the cooler, and all those will go in the into the garden for fertilizer. Here's what I'm going to do here. Show you how to scale these. Some people scale them, leave the skin on. I just remove the skin with the scales. This is where our fork comes in. Hope I'm not bumping the table too much here, but I always grab. You could grab it with your thumbnail. I always just grab it with a fork. This is the tail end. Grab here. We use the larger 7-inch knife for this. You could probably use a smaller one, but we normally have a variety of fish. Again, parallel the table, but slight pressure towards the table. And I just rock it back and forth. Alright. There we go. There's our fillet. That's all beautiful meat. No bones, no nothing. I mean, it's just a beautiful little nugget. That goes into the little bowl of ice and water. This skin goes in the cooler also into the garden. So, to show you this one more time, just right down what you're doing is getting behind all the meat, pushing toward the table, just trying to get as much meat off of that skin as possible. Some of them will go better than others. you know, probably take you half a dozen to a dozen of these to get it all figured out. So a little bloody. What this will do, like I said, sit in the cold ice water. We'll take them inside, rinse them out. Again, garden fertilizer. Got our bowl here with the meat. This will be all filled up, but when these sit here, these we'll rinse off. Like I said, we'll rub the blood out of them, get them nice and clean. So give me a second here, guys, and I will show you another angle. Alright guys, got all them fish filleted, all the meat off of the bodies, and they're laying there ready to be skinned. I typically do that just to get in the flow of things. So that's the image right there, all the fillets ready to be skinned. Alright guys, 30 fillets, 15 fish, 2 fillets per fish, right there. I'm going to take those in, clean them up, show you how I bag them up. This, best fertilizer in the world. So, I'm not going to dig a hole, show you how to put, you know, fish in the ground. That's kind of silly, but I'm going to bag these up and give you a quick tutorial on that. Hopefully it'll be less than a minute. Alright guys, I just run nice cold water through these, work them around. Dump the junk water out of there. Flush this a few times. Works all the bad stuff out of there. Cleans up a little bit of blood that's in the meat. Like I said, keep the water cold, keep the meat firm. Mark our bags with what it is and a date. That way, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. That way, when you get stocked up in the freezer, you make sure stuff doesn't get too old, and you eat the older stuff first. So 15 fillets per bag when the meat's that big. People will disagree with me here. I don't do food savers or nothing, but fill it up with water. I fill it about halfway. Turn the water off. Close this up 90% of the way. Squeeze the air and squeeze about as much water as you can out of it. I don't know, people say don't store in water, but I've been doing it like that for 10 years and keeps all the freezer burn off of stuff. I don't ever notice my meat being soggy or nothing like that. You know, we fry pretty much not 100% of this bluegill meat, but there you go. There's 2 delicious meals: bluegill, panfish, whatever you want to call it. I'll put those flat like that, lay them in the freezer, and you're good to go. Hope you guys enjoy this video. It's a little different than what we normally do, or I normally do. Just thought I'd do a quick how-to on that, and share what's going on in life. So, hope you guys have a great day. Like and subscribe. We got up north off-grid stuff coming in the next week or two. We got some stuff planned. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great day.